everyone, welcome to DIY with Nancy. Today I'm going to share my Chewy Amaretti cookies. What I love about these cookies, well, the list goes on, but for one, they're gluten-free. I like to make these cookies beforehand. You can freeze them before I roll them into the powdered sugar. I freeze them, and then when I want to make them, I just take them out about 45 minutes before. I let them thaw, and then I roll them into powdered sugar, as you're going to see me making them, and then I place them in the oven. These cookies are so simple to make. I've received so much compliments on these cookies. I brought these cookies or made these cookies for my sister-in-law's wedding 3 years ago. I made a whole bunch of cookies, like 900 cookies, but these were one of them. And I'm telling you, they're very easy to make and great to bring to any barbecue, bridal shower, anything you want to, any event you have that you want to bring some cookies. Try these, they're always a hit. So stay with me and watch how to make my Chewy Amaretti cookies step by step. Here's the list of the ingredients you'll need to make this recipe. I have here 4 cups of almond flour, 1 1/3 cups of granulated sugar, 4 egg whites, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of almond extract, and the zest of 1 lemon. I will also list the ingredients in the description box down below. First step in making the Amaretti cookies that are very chewy and quick and easy to make, you're going to start off with a bowl. And in the bowl, you're going to start off by adding the almond flour, granulated sugar, the salt. I'm going to give that a quick mix. Now I like to add the salt to enhance the flavor of the almond flour, and I also like to add the zest of 1 lemon. If you've ever had almond flour before, it's very bland, so I'd like to enhance it with some salt and the lemon zest. So I'm going to zest the lemon. Now I have all the zest of the lemon in the mixture here, and I have a little bit right on the actual zester, so I want to remove that. And I'm once again going to mix that in. And now I'm going to add the almond extract and the vanilla extract. You want to combine that in. The last thing that there is to do is the egg whites. What I'm going to do is blend them into a stiff peak, and then I'm going to add it to this mixture of the almond flour. And this is how you get that chewy Amaretti cookie. It's a delicious cookie. As you can see, it's very easy to make. Now I'm going to move on to the next step in mixing the egg whites, so let's do that. Now for the next step, I'm going to be using my stand mixer, and I'm going to be adding the 4 egg whites into the mixing bowl. Going to add my wire whisk attachment. And I'm going to mix the egg whites until it forms a stiff peak. And I'll show you what it looks like once the egg whites have formed. So I've had the mixer going for about 1.5 minutes. And that's how long it took me to form the stiff peaks. Now at this point, I'm going to add the egg whites to the almond flour mixture. So let's move on to the next step. Now here's the egg whites that have formed a stiff peak. That's how you know it's stiff. You turn it around and it doesn't come out of the mixing bowl. So I'm going to place all the egg whites gradually into the almond flour. And then I'm going to mix it with a wooden spoon. I'm going to continue mixing it until the almond flour comes together with the egg whites. And the egg whites is what makes these Amaretti cookies very, very chewy and delicious. Okay, I have all the egg whites in the mixture. I'm going to mix it until it comes together and it forms the Amaretti dough. Now I'm using a wooden spoon Sometimes I switch and I use my hands to bring it together. Now what I'm using here and what I've done here is for 1 cup of almond flour, I use 1 egg white. So 4 cups of flour, 4 egg whites. And I used large eggs for this recipe. So if you're using small eggs and you find you need a little bit more of the egg whites, so you might need to add 5 egg whites as opposed to 4. So this is where I'm going to start using my hands to bring it together. Now I'm going to be making these cookies for a barbecue I'm going to be going to this weekend at my brother's house. And you know what? Sometimes you just want to have not a very sweet dessert, but something nice and light with a coffee. These cookies are always a hit. I've made them for weddings, baby showers, baptisms, and they're always a hit. They're very simple to make and very, very chewy. Now this dough has come together, and now I'm ready to move on to the next step in rolling the cookies and showing you how to do that before we get them into the oven. So let's move on to the next step. Now we're ready to move on to the last and final step. In preparing our Amaretti cookies, I'm going to use an ice cream scoop to form the cookies. That way they're even size, each one. As you can see, I have the Amaretti cookie dough here. I also have 1 cup of powdered sugar that I've sifted onto a plate, and a baking tray with parchment paper, which we're going to be baking our cookies. I'm going to take the cookie dough into the ice cream scoop. I'm just going to place it right onto the sifted powdered sugar plate, and I'm going to continue doing that. Now I'm going to start placing the Amaretti cookies here on the side bowl so I can have room to roll the Amaretti cookies in the powdered sugar. And now at this point, I'm ready to roll the Amaretti cookies into the powdered sugar and place them on the baking tray. So I'm going to start off by rolling the Amaretti cookies just like that. If you feel there's a little bit too much powdered sugar, all you do is take it, slightly just let it bounce on your hand just like that, and then place it onto the baking tray. I'm going to continue rolling the Amaretti cookies onto the powdered sugar, shaking off any excess just like that, placing it on the baking tray, and then I'll show you the next step. Now here I have the last Amaretti cookie. I have about 30 cookies here. You get anywhere from 2 dozens to 30 cookies. Just depends how big or how small you roll them. And this is why I like to use the ice cream scoop. It comes fairly even for all the size of the cookies. So now, once the cookies are on the tray, I have my hands full of sugar here, but I'm not gonna wash my hands quite yet, because before I place them in the oven, I'm going to flatten them slightly, not all the way down. I'm just gonna slightly flatten the cookies, and you get that crinkle onto the cookie as well. So I'm gonna just, with the palm of my hand, I'm just going to slightly push it down, just like that. And I'm gonna continue doing this. The Amaretti cookies are ready to go in the oven. I'm gonna bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes, and then I'll show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. My Chewy Amaretti cookies are out of the oven. Now I'm gonna let them cool. They were in the oven for 20 minutes exactly. I need to let them cool before I bite into one and show you what they look like inside. I can't wait. You know, I need to break into one and show you what they look like inside. Soft and chewy. A delicious, chewy Amaretti cookie that's easy to make, gluten-free, and super delicious. that's my Chewy Amaretti cookie recipe. How easy are these cookies to make? The great thing I like about these cookies, and a lot of the cookies that I make, you can pre-make these cookies beforehand. So if you have a busy schedule or a busy week coming up, and you want to have an event coming up that you want to take a dessert to, try these cookies and see how easy they are to make. You could freeze them, but freeze them only after you scoop the dough, and do not roll them in the powdered sugar. Place a tray or a container with some parchment paper, place the almond dough balls that you form up with a scoop, place them on a tray, and then freeze them. When you're ready to bake them, you can take them out of the freezer, let them thaw for about 45 minutes, then roll them into the powdered sugar, flatten them in a little bit, bake them for 20 minutes, and voila, you have a delicious dessert to bring over to any event. I can guarantee you they'll be a hit. But you know what? Give this recipe a try at home and see how delicious and easy these cookies are really to make. Now, I'm gonna bite into one. I just love these. Great with a cup of coffee, tea. Sometimes I just make these and place them on the counter right behind me. You know, there's 20, 24. By the time I look at it, there's only 5, 6. You can't just have one. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my recipe for my Chewy Amaretti cookies. And if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care. Until next time. Bye.